I'm gonna go ahead and go, just so I don't catch her on the skinny area. Thank you. Because it gets tight up in here, so yeah, didn't want to catch her up here. I don't know how many power settings there are when I press plus or minus, you know. I don't know if it necessarily remembers the setting you're on from previously or goes back to like a baseline, you know, when you turn it off and turn it back on. See, stuff I don't know. The other reason why kind of these switches are good with the rope, you know, that you put on your, you're good. That you put on your wrist. Because if I were to, let's say, drop the bike and the throttle's twisted, I don't know if this has a lean over sensor and the wheel will just, so your limbs fall in the wheel or whatever. That could be detrimental and you could get hurt. So in some ways that makes sense. So maybe if I was doing a real hard trail, that would probably be wise to somehow attach that to me. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I think we would just have to get used to using. Because well, I would have to know at all costs, I can't take my hand then too far off away from the bar, otherwise it's just gonna cut power, right? For some reason, my hand came off, or I want to raise my hand to tell people how many others there are. You know, there is that issue. So I know we never used that on the Arctic Leopard, but I do see a reason to have it. Yeah, that rear shock now is adjusted a lot better. Problem with the fronts though, I have them all cranked all the way, so not to bottom out. Now, could I back that off some? I might be able to, but honestly, they're not that stiff being cranked all the way. So us big Americans at 200 pounds, you know, that's something I'll have to work with them, that they're going to really need this set up for 200-pound rider. Got my pictures. I wonder if B is like for like regen setting, because it doesn't seem like it's regenning much. Only hit B. Yeah, I don't think that did anything. We'll play with the rest when I get back to the parking lot, at the end of probably my video series, to play with those. I don't want to play with it without having a display, just in case I put it in something that is like would be a menu or something and turns it off, you know. Don't randomly press things. I should be hearing back from my guy that makes this, has the company, to see if he's gonna give me the status. I guess he said they're currently racing in a bunch of Chinese races right now. So he's gonna come back and he's going to go ahead and send me the dash. I don't know if we need the battery with the importation stuff going on right now. I don't know if he can do that kind of under the radar, or, you know, send it to India and then send it to here. I don't know. Being that it's one battery, maybe, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't be bad. Maybe he could put on that it's, you know, a gift or testing purposes or whatever. Send it to me personally. I honestly don't know. I don't know how any of that works, because it kind of is. Like, I'm not selling it because there's no money to sell this. It's a unique bike. It's the only one here. I mean, if I stop hearing from him tomorrow, this would sit around for a while, and then I would probably put it on my living room shelf. Okay, it's a piece of art. It looks nice. It's just be a collectible thing at that one time. Yeah, my saw, there's no, plus it's suspended. I wouldn't know how you start cutting that. And if I started cutting it, it's gonna fall like that and block. So you need a chainsaw where you can cut through that fairly quickly. For us, we can still go under it. Maybe we just leave it, but at some point it has to go because it's just gonna eventually fall on the trail. So do you do it now, wait a few years? I don't know. Right up that. Actually, the tires that come on this, I would say, are pretty sticky. You know, it's a tire that I don't know if in China it's like well known or what factory it's coming out of. Maybe it's coming out of a factory that makes everybody else's tires. But I would say it's a semi-gummy, just from feeling it. As far as I know, there's no traction control on this bike, so it's only like in the deeper decomposing granite. If I slow down, it will spin the rear. So traction's all about my hand. And you know, with these electric bikes, it's all torque. It's crazy. I also feel like when I'm riding electric, I can do more talking. So I'm not trying to talk over the engine. I'm not trying to wonder if you all can hear me or not. So there is something about riding electric and then vlogging. and just talking about the bike, talking about your day, whatever you want to do, you know. But then occasionally when I hear a rattle now, it's the battery. I just need to secure the battery better. I did a pretty good job considering I had to come up with something. I made something and I made it work, but I need to come up with something a little better. I felt like when I adjusted the chain on this bike, to be transparent with y'all, that I had to angle the front of the rear tire more towards the right so the knob wouldn't hit the chain, although, I mean, it seems like it's fine. Seems like the teeth are running in the middle of the chain. It seems, just me, it seems the, lost my train of thought there. It seems that it's straight running, but you know, using the Motion Pro like chain guide thing, it's like, hold on now, that doesn't seem legit. So I don't know. Maybe if they're really wanting to do a 140 series tire, they need to maybe just make the swing arm a little bit wider. I mean, we're talking about a little. You know, it doesn't take much. Like, design it 5 millimeters, 10 millimeters, I don't know. So, you know, we're not talking a huge amount. Just to make sure that you're able to use a bunch of different brands of tires, right? Because when the stock ones wear out or somebody's gung-ho, like I always run X tire, and maybe it has bigger lugs or something, you know, that they know it's gonna fit without having to go down to a 120. Although I typically run a 120, so when I change this out, I'm probably going to just go ahead and put a 120. I'll probably put a cheater on it or something like that. Or maybe even a Tusk, because we have a bunch of Tusk. Maybe like a T35 or T45. We have one of each of those. So maybe I'll put one of those on, or I'll get a Recon or something, because we are a Tusk dealer, so. But for testing purposes, this stock tires, I mean, it's great, actually, even better than testing purposes. So I'd be quite interested if we do start selling these, importing these, that maybe we see about bringing in some of these tires if it's reasonable, you know? If they can be sold at like a really good price where people are like, oh yeah, for 65 bucks, I'll try that tire. You know? Because finding a 140 that's like 65 bucks is non-existent now, so. And I suppose I understand, but is there a reason why some of the brands like Bridgestone, I forget what it is like a, you know, $140 140 series tire? And there's another one my buddy Brian is trying out, and it's like a like a $200 tire. It's not, I don't think, it's not like if you're sponsored and you're running it, cool, right? Free tires. But if you're not sponsored, are you really gonna spend $200? No, you're not. It's not gonna happen. Oh. Just me. If I had a display and could tell you the percentage for the battery, this is an interesting trail. Yeah, this is an interesting trail. If I could tell you the percentage of battery along the way, because you know we're going up the whole time, and then if you have regen or whatever, and you're going back the airway, you're going to pick up maybe a mile or two, depending on the aggressiveness of the regen going back down. So it's kind of cool because it's a good torture test, right? Good range test. You're going uphill, which obviously is non-stop on the power. And then you're gonna go downhill. What I like about electric vehicles, not just being quiet, is in theory, they can just keep going. Electric motors, you know, you can get an electric motor from 1920s and it just works, right? Now there's a little more electronics to these and it's the electronic aspect, but if you design electronics well, it's pretty damn bulletproof. So we're at the midpoint. I made it here, and see, if you were stopped like this with a bunch of people, you hit P. Yep. So buddy comes up and goes like that. Ooh, you know, that's the problem. I warn all the kids, like, because there's no engine running, you don't know it's running. So being a habit like the thrown serpent's nice that it has that on-off switch. You can leave the bike on, just turn off that switch, and your buddy can't come up, jiggle the throttle. You're not going to play with the throttle. Learn not to play with your throttle, because you're going to send the bike into a person, car, another riding buddy, building, into the street, like intersection. If you're riding on the street, dirt, off a cliff, you know, through a log, destroy the bike, and now you're hiking out. So just be careful. That's all I ask. And that's good habit on electric, is always be able to cut it. Especially if you don't have like switches, safety switches on levers and stuff, where I can just hold that and then you can't do anything. Assuming it's working properly, that's a lot of trust. But I like having a second button, just so it's on or off. Anyways, we'll end the video here, and then we'll pick up at going up 667 to Pipeline and getting on Pipeline and seeing where the snow's at. Y'all take care, stay well, stay safe. Until the next video, bye.